Hello, friends, and welcome. This is episode 9 of Journey into Fandom Season 2, a podcast where I have guests on to discuss what fandoms and communities they're part of, what their experience has been, what the memes are, and how toxic or wholesome it is. If I sound a bit funny right now, that is because I am a tiny bit sick as of the time recording this intro, but I am so committed to this podcast that we're powering through. I'm your host, Karis Lunn, and today on the show we had Gavin from the Overleveled Games Podcast. This was such a fun chat. We recorded this a while ago, but we talked about his series, The Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts, and what inspired him to start his podcast. We also delved into some other fun topics, and it was a great time. Now, without any further ado, please join me on this journey into fandom. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Journey into Fandom. This is a podcast where I have guests on to discuss what fandoms and communities they are part of, what their experience has been, what the memes are, and how toxic or wholesome it is. I am your host, Karis Lunn, and today on the show we have Gavin from the Overleveled Podcast / The Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4. Welcome!
Hey, thank you for having me.
Of course! I'm so excited to be talking to you because I really do enjoy your show a lot. So it's exciting.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have your show, and you were telling me a little bit before about it. Yeah, because when you started it, it was like pretty broad, and you talked about like a lot of different news to do with different JRPGs, and now you're trying to focus more on like. So just to clarify, so the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4, is that like a separate thing, or is it still like under the umbrella? Because it's in the same stream.
Yeah. So my podcast is Overleveled Video Games or Overleveled Games. Like you were saying, I started out just kind of having this broad, I guess, just blanket, just talking about news and just doing maybe little reviews here and there, mostly having to do with Japanese role-playing video games. But realistically, I'm at a point now where even if there's a game that I really do want to play that's not an RPG, I would love to just like talk about that, for instance.
Yes.
So I'm not so much focusing on. Currently, how my schedule has looked. Everything that we have talked about so far has been RPG related stuff. But I'm kind of moving into a direction where I'm not so much focusing on a specific genre of a video game, but I'm just kind of picking video games that I really love. And right now, it's Kingdom Hearts that we're doing this thing.
Yes.
And we're kind of going at it like a book club in a way. And that's kind of a lot of the content that I listen to anyways. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of books. I listen to a lot of book club podcasts, And I listen to a lot of, just podcasts about video games in general. And there are a few podcasts out there like the Resonant Arc podcast, Retrograde Amnesia, where they take video games and they take them piece by piece and just kind of dissect the story, do a little bit of trivia, development history, and things like that. And they, from the beginning of a game to the end of it, they just discuss video games in that direction. So that's kind of something that I would like to get my feet wet into doing. I would love to, get to a point where I can say I covered all the Final Fantasy games, all the Kingdom Hearts games, a lot of JRPGs, some of the Zelda games, Xenoblade games, just the whole Xeno series. I want to kind of take my podcast into a direction where we're not just talking about news and doing reviews. Maybe that stuff will continue to happen every now and then, but realistically, I want to make the podcast that I want to listen to. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now what I want to listen to and what I want to do is dissect video games. And that's kind of the direction that we're going to right now. And the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4 is just kind of it's kind of this stepping stone. Like we're kind of turning the podcast gradually into what I want it to be with the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4. So it's all still the same. We're just kind of changing the format a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, I guess you already did that. I was going to do the 2-minute thing, and then I kind of forgot. So anyways, we can still do that if you want.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
If you want to.
I can, I guess, just summarize what specifically the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4 is.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to do this is the wiki, like, article version of the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4, like, what that is.
It's that first little paragraph that you see when you open up Wiki.
That is what this is. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Are you ready for this? I got my timer. All right. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. So this is probably going to be less than 2 minutes.
That's totally
basically,
fine.
The Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4 is a series that I'm doing with my buddy Dash. My buddy Dash is a good friend of mine. He's a coworker of mine. We spend a lot of time talking to each other about all things, especially video games. And Dash is someone who has never played any Kingdom Hearts game before. He worked at GameStop. He knows what Kingdom Hearts is. It's not like he's never heard of it before. He just has really no idea what it's about, other than there are Final Fantasy characters and there are Disney characters, and somehow it's all original at the same time. So that's all he knows. So as someone like myself, who is a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts and knows, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like I know pretty much. Or sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. You're good.
Sorry. Maybe you can beat that out.
Don't worry about it.
I know everything about Kingdom Hearts. Sorry. But Dash, he like I said, he knows nothing. So I let him borrow my copy of just the HD collection, and he's just been going through Kingdom Hearts 1 right now. And like I was telling you, Karis, I just finished up recording the final episode talking about Kingdom Hearts proper. Obviously, the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4, clearly Dark Road is like a bit of a pun, I guess.
Yep.
But also, this is a completely dark road to Dash. He's blind. He's not looking up anything about these games or anything. We are just coming together after he plays up to a certain point in the game. And like I said before, we're kind of doing it like a book club.
Amazing.
And,
yeah.
So right now, that's what we're doing. He just finished up Kingdom Hearts 1, and the next game on the list is Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories on the HD collection. So I'm really excited for that. And I just know he is dying to get to Kingdom Hearts 2. Because all he's heard is just fantastic things about that game, respectively.
So cool.
So, yeah, that's really what it is.
Amazing. Yeah, you did it.
I did.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, no, I think what I really love about the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts, and I'm not caught up yet, but I'll get there. The Dark Road.
Where are you at right now, if you don't mind asking?
I think I'm like... Yeah, I think I'm like partway through episode 3?
Cool.
Or 2. I can't
Nice.
remember. I got
Sweet.
so many podcasts all the time.
Yeah, so many.
No, but like I really encouraged everybody to check it out when I did my finale of Kingdom Minds, because I'm like, okay, listen, I'm so lazy at doing Kingdom Hearts things. Everybody listen to this, because what I really like about it is like the layers, the detail. So that was the wiki version. This is like an actual like encyclopedia. Like a paper thing. If you were to open that up and be like, okay, everything that's going on, it's like all in there. And there's like a few
I
things.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it so much. There's a few things that like you pick out that it's like I've never noticed that before. And just like it's fun if you've played it already, because you can kind of like call to mind these different like scenes that you're describing, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I forgot all about that. Like I forgot that thing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really fun. It is just like an audiobook, but it's a video game. It's cool. I really enjoy it. So yeah, everybody should give that a listen.
So one thing too that my goal with this specific series as well. I mentioned it in the first episode. But other than just Dash going through the Kingdom Hearts game for the first time, and I'm just kind of walking through his thoughts with him.
Yes.
Essentially, the thing that I want to do properly in this show is kind of give the listener a sense of, let's say you've already played Kingdom Hearts 1 before. I want you to feel like you can relive that experience of going through Kingdom Hearts for the first time again. With someone who's never played it before. You can go back to whenever you were a kid or how old you were, playing that first Kingdom Hearts game, and you're listening to the perspective of, someone who you can relate to, me, because you've already played the game, and also someone who you related to in the past, someone who's never played the game. So it's good, I think, for people who, like I said, have played the game before, and for people who have never played Kingdom Hearts before.
Yes.
And maybe just want to listen to the podcast and not play the game, or listen to the podcast as we are going through the game. Because at the beginning and at the end of these episodes, I say, hey, on the next episode, we're playing up to this point. So if you've never played before, you can do that. Also, I do everything in my ability to not spoil future events. So, Dash is playing these games as we are recording. So it's not like he's finished Kingdom Hearts 1 and then we start recording episode 1. No, like he's taking breaks in between recording.
Yeah.
And so in episode 1, he has no idea what happens at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, right?
Yes.
And that is the trend that we will continue to do in the series.
So cool. Yeah, I think that really comes across as well. It's like you get the sense of the excitement of like someone who's never played it before, and then like the veteran who's like, yeah, I've done this rodeo thing already. I don't know. Right. It's really great. Yeah, and just really fun to listen to. I really like your banter and interactions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I know this is Karis, you told me that this is a family-friendly podcast, and I know I messed up
no,
earlier.
Don't worry.
But,
it's totally fine.
Okay,
It's okay.
And I feel so bad about that. But also, if you are someone who listens to this show pretty normally, as well as other more family-friendly centered stuff, I would not necessarily say that my podcast is that. We make dirty jokes and we drop F-bombs and things like that. So it's just a little. There's a little disclaimer for the show.
Yeah, I
maybe
appreciate
you're into it.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, like my thing is I like to be approachable to everybody. Yeah, so
absolutely,
that's my thing. But like I think you guys are really funny. I really enjoy it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's really great. Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your content journey? So like, what inspired you to start Overleveled Games in the first place? I know you talked a little bit about the evolution of that, but yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I mean, and I think this is just a product of the current generation of just people growing up with technology today. I was really inspired to make movies and stuff whenever I was younger. My family bought me like a little video camera and like a huge suitcase full of props and stuff, and I even still have a bunch of skits on YouTube that I would make with my friends whenever I was younger on YouTube. So if anyone is ever interested in looking that stuff up, and you want to see what a 10-year-old Gavin was doing with his buddies, back in the day, that channel is Blake Time 101. All one word, Blake Time 101. So I'm just gonna put that out there for everyone. So anyways,
I'll be looking that
with
up.
all of that, Thank you. Yeah, so with all of that, I can pretty much just say when I was uploading those videos, I pretty much knew one thing that I wanted to do with my life is just make content. And that's not even necessarily just in regards to doing YouTube stuff or making movies and stuff. I'm a musician. I've been playing guitar since I was 7. So like I make music with friends as well. I am
Mm,
just someone who just craves that sort of rush whenever you I guess just create something and you put it out there. Um,
yeah.
even if no one's listening to it, even if no one's watching your thing, I mostly just do it for me. It's something that I have just always loved to do. Um,
100%. Yes.
so after I made that that channel with my buddies when I was younger, I got really into Kingdom Hearts. Whenever I was in middle school and going into high school, like 8th grade, 9th grade, I started up a gameplay channel with my buddies, and we played video games and we joked around, and it's really cringy and it's not good. The audio quality's bad, and we use broken emulation and all this stuff. Really bad, but all of that stuff is still up. So I did all of that, and then throughout high school, some of my other friends, we really decided to go very serious with doing like video game let's play type content.
Yeah.
And so me and my friends, we ran a video game let's play channel called Videoverse, which is still up. And we uploaded 1 to 2 videos every single day for about 3 years.
Oh,
Um,
wow. It's
yeah,
dedication.
we did that. Oh yeah, and only had like 100 subscribers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know, but the people who were watching, I mean, we had some people who were commenting on the videos and things like that. Realistically, I mean, take the type of content that Game Grumps would do very regularly. No face cam or anything, just literally just chatting, just chit chatting, and playing a video game. And that's really all it was. It was like a bunch of us, and we would just get together and we'd play video games. It was a really good time. I was actually just recently talking to my buddy DJ, who's also a part of Overleveled Games, like what his plan is with that channel. And I think we're just about ready to let that channel die, unfortunately.
Oh,
um,
sadness.
yeah,
Rip
we haven't
Videoverse.
uploaded anything. Yeah, we haven't uploaded anything in like 6 months or something like that. It's been a while. And my buddy DJ, he's out doing his thing. He's making One Piece content. He's got a couple thousand subscribers now. He's living
Yo.
large. So
One Piece, let's go.
I know. So, anyways, in the middle of doing Videoverse stuff, I got married. I had a kid. I was growing up. All of my buddies, we were all really just right out of high school. All of our other friends, they were still doing college, and they had more time to do Videoverse stuff. I kind of stepped away from that and stepped away from making content, mostly because like I said, I started having more personal responsibilities like family and things like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
So that's just kind of been I stepped away for a while, but then COVID happened, and don't mean to drop the C word, but that all happened, and I just felt so bored. I mean, I was living in a really small house and had a little baby and my wife, and 2 months after that, after my daughter was born, COVID hit, and it was kind of this like, well, what do we do now? I got furloughed from my job. I had a lot of free time. I was collecting unemployment, and was just kind of like, you know what? I mean, I could just talk about video games, at least.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
100%.
podcasts are just every day, like 100 new people make a new podcast and all this stuff.
Yes.
I felt like same sort of mindset of just like, if nobody listens to this, that's fine. Me and my friends talk about video games all the time anyways. We might as well press record, you know,
Yes.
just in case something
100%.
happens in the future. So that is essentially how Videoverse got, or sorry, not Videoverse, Overleveled Games got started. I was like, you know what? Maybe I can do it consistently. maybe it won't be super consistent. I don't know, but I can at least just talk about video games with my buddies who I don't, get to really see anymore because we now live like 45 minutes away from each other. I've got family, and, maybe just when my kids are down, I can record and find some time to throw it all together and upload it. And that's the gist of how Overleveled Games came to be. But like I said, I've always just been the kind of person to really gravitate towards just making some sort of content. And I'm really interested in everything. So theoretically, if somebody was like, hey, Gavin, you want to start a movie review podcast? I'd be like, absolutely, let's do it. Or, hey, you want to, talk about anime? Sure. I don't really watch a whole lot of anime, but I will if we're doing a podcast, So that's just me, I guess.
That's cool. Yeah, and I feel like my show is kind of similar in the sense that like I just get to talk about anything because I'm like I get different people on every episode, so it's like we could talk about this or whatever. So I think that's fun. Yeah, and I think that's cool. Like, just wanting to make a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like why not? And I think similarly for me, I was in that spot of like I did a vlogging thing for a while, like when I was like 14.
Nice.
Yeah, so cringy. Like I look back on those, I'm like, oh no, what was I doing?
Are they still up? Can you share them with all of us?
No.
Oh, okay.
My friends found them like about a year ago, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, I gotta take all these down. These are horrendous. But and I was just like, at that point, I just wanted to be like an influencer type thing. So it wasn't, there was no like passion behind it. Yeah. So I think if you can find a cool thing that you just like to do just for yourself, that is a joy and a privilege. Yeah. And so I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Yeah. So how do you think it's been going, like, generally? Like, are you enjoying doing it still?
Oh, I hate it. No, it's a great time. It's a great time. I mean, like you said, it's just kind of finding that thing that you can kind of regularly do, just like for yourself, because sometimes you just need to do something for just you.
Yeah.
And bringing it back again, like I said, even if no one listened to my show, I would still be recording it and doing it, because it's also a fairly good excuse for me just to talk to some of my buddies who I don't really get to see very often. I saw a DJ fairly recently. We went to go to a concert together, and I helped him film a new video for his YouTube channel. But other than that, it's been a couple of months. I mean, well, I guess before that we filmed our 1-year anniversary of the Overleveled podcast. But before that, it had been, I swear, like a year, and we had just been communicating via Discord, recording podcasts. So right now, I mean, that's just the nature of it. I mean, whenever you have kids, and I have 2 now, you just kind of naturally, like, if you're doing the responsible thing and you're being there for your family as much as you can, you kind of have to take a hit on some aspects of your previous life. So for me, oftentimes, unfortunately, that just has to be some one-on-one time that I get to spend with a lot of my friends. So, when my kids are down, that's whenever we record the show. But other than that, I mean, like, I love the time that I get to do it. Outside of just being able to play video games for myself, these are really the 2 things, other than also doing music stuff with some of my other friends. This is just what I do with my free time. It's something that I love doing. All of the pain and audio issues that come with it, like with just like editing and all that. I don't know. Even whenever things go terribly wrong, I still am doing something that I like to do. So it's a good time. As far as just kind of logistically, analytically, how my audience is and stuff. I mean, it's not huge. I'm uploading places like YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. So there's like the YouTube audience where we've got like almost 100 subscribers, and then there's whatever Anchor tells me I have, which I think is like an audience of like 20 to 30 active regular listeners.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where I'm sitting right now, and that's fine. I hope it continues to grow. But yeah, I mean that's what we're looking at right now, and it's good. I mean, and then there's Patreon as well. We got like 2 Patreon members, which is cool.
Let's go.
They allow me to support other people on Patreon, so
That's cool.
that's nice.
Yes, our small time podcasters got to stick together and do our thing. So yeah,
That's right.
welcome back anytime. Um,
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. Yeah. So like, what are you playing at the moment? What are you currently interested in?
So right now, actually, last night I was able to find some time for the first time in like a week. But I opened up Neo: The World Ends with You. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, that's been a whole lot of fun. I was really into the first The World Ends with You game, mostly for the narrative. I pretty much solely played the first The World Ends with You game for the narrative, and
Right.
this game, Neo: The World Ends with You, I like the story so far. As far as all I've played, I'm like on day 7. Kind of early on in the beginning of the game, I think still. But man, the gameplay is just so much fun, and just all of the menu customization that you can just like go through, just looking at all of the things that you can collect and all that stuff. I don't know why. It's just like, I guess just holding that controller and being able to like move your character around like with the thumbstick and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really fun, and I'm completely captivated by that game right now. Aesthetically, it's just such a good time. And then on the side of that too, when I'm not playing that, I'm actually going back and playing Super Mario RPG.
So
So that's
fun.
yeah. So it's the first time I've ever played that. The music is done by Yoko Shimomura. So I love that.
We love her.
um, oh,
Awesome.
absolutely. So
Oh,
I'm having a good time. It's kind of some good fun. Actually, my daughter recently has been just kind of coming in the room where I play Super Mario RPG, and she'll watch the TV and she just goes Mario, and like she'll sit on my lap, and I'll kill an enemy or something, and she just starts clapping and is like, "Yay, you did it!" Like, so I don't know. She's my little cheerleader right now for playing old school RPGs.
that is so sweet. We love
Yeah.
this. Oh, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I never did finish the first World Ends with You, so because of that, I have not played Neo yet, and I want to. I just again, not only am I the laziest Kingdom Hearts creator, I'm also like the laziest gamer. I don't even know if I really am a gamer because I play like no games ever. I have been dabbling a little bit in Dragon Quest 11.
Oh,
So
nice.
that has been fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
I recently played the first 3, Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 on Nintendo Switch, and right now I'm every now and then going back and forth from the mobile version, like for Android and iOS,
Mm-hmm.
of Dragon Quest 4. I want to get to Dragon Quest 11 so bad, but I also feel like Dragon Quest 11 just has so many references to the whole series. So I'm playing all of the Dragon Quest games very slowly in numerical order.
I feel like that's what I should be doing, and maybe I'll appreciate it more. But I am still having a good time with it, regardless. I am enjoying it
Nice.
tremendously. Yeah. So that's been fun. Yeah,
That's the
and
one. That's the one game that you've been playing.
yeah, I'm recently. What else?
Nice.
I don't even know. I got so many things that I want to do, and I
Oh yeah,
don't do them because I'm like, I don't even
you're
know
an
what
adult.
I'm. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm not even that
Yeah.
busy, but I feel like I'm busy. It's so strange.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So what do I even do? Yeah. So in terms of the discourse of like the video game community, like I know that's like the biggest, broadest thing ever, but like what's going
Sure.
around in your circle? Like what would you
um.
say is the discourse happening, man?
Yeah. 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 So right now, I mean, as far as like video game communities that recently I've just seen a lot of activity in as of late. Right now, it's the Kingdom Hearts community.
Oh,
I li-
yes.
yeah, I mean, I listen to there's the Ansem Report podcast
We
and
love them.
obviously Kingdom Minds, best podcast out there. So,
Thank you.
no problem. So basically, I don't know. I see lots of stuff in the Kingdom Hearts community, and it's so interesting to see how much the community has shifted over the many years of Kingdom Hearts being a thing. You know. Um,
Yes.
but other than the Kingdom Hearts community, I mean, I got Elden Ring whenever it came out, and I
Yes.
haven't really seen much recently as far as just talking about Elden Ring stuff, but for a while that was all that everyone was talking about, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, other than that, I don't know. I'm not super active in a whole lot of discords or just video game conversation really, other than right now the Kingdom Hearts community.
Yeah.
um Outside of video games, I am really active in like books, like talking about books and
Books.
things like that. Yeah.
Yes. What you been
So,
reading?
so I do most of my reading via like audiobooks. So I do lots of
Okay. Yeah,
listening
yeah.
for the most part.
Got it.
My normal day job is I clean pools for a
Okay.
living. So a lot of my day is it consists of me just having headphones in. So I listen to podcasts like crazy. I listen to a lot of music, and then recently I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. And I know since you, Karis, are involved in the Super Spaghetti Bros community as well, I'm sure you know Sean underscore AFK.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so me and him talk very regularly about the books written by Brandon Sanderson.
Very cool.
Yeah, the Cosmere universe and all that. So I've been just going through those books like crazy. And that's been really cool actually. And if anyone is interested, this might actually get a lot of people into listening to audiobooks. There is a company out there called Graphic Audio, and they're an audiobook publishing company, and they have done all of the Cosmere books. They've done every book by Brandon Sanderson, pretty much. And they specialize in big, high budget, I guess just production quality. So instead of just one guy sitting there in silence reading a book, they have like an entire ensemble cast of voice actors, and they have people who compose music, and they do sound effects and things like that. And they cut out all of the little dialogue, and they instead just replace it with actual sounds that you would hear. So instead of describing them walking on a dirt road, you just hear them walking like on dirt, you know.
Oh, that's
So
so
it's
cool.
it's very, very engaging, and I've listened to all of the Cosmere books via graphic audio. So if anyone's ever interested in that, graphic audio is the way to go. But yeah.
Yeah. Actually, funny that you mentioned audiobooks because me and my family were on vacation a few weeks ago, and we
Hmm.
were going for a walk in the woods. Me and my brother, we were just chatting away, and I was talking about how I really need the cash monies.
Yeah, of course.
And we were just
Mhm.
chatting away, and we just came up with this like side hustle idea, because my brother, does sound engineering. Like he's like a DJ and stuff like that. And he
Okay.
was like, "Bro, like we should be recording audiobooks. Like you talk for a living. Like you read the thing and then I'll do all the editing and mixing and like production of it and everything." And I was like, "Bruh." So, but the thing is, I've never actually gotten into listening to audiobooks, so I really
Hmm.
should do that because I need to know like what I'm getting into, I guess. But that's
Okay.
like
Yeah, it's a lot.
that's a long-term like idea. It may or may not ever come off because I feel like it would take a lot of work.
Yes.
But no, that's really fun, and yeah, I don't know.
So
Yeah.
sorry. I just now that you're talking about this, I just want to go on a little side tangent. I actually I had that same sort of like revelation in my head where I'm just like, man, I love doing podcast stuff. Like, maybe I can find some other time as well to maybe record my own audiobooks. Specifically, I was thinking about like my aunt and my granny and just like other family members of mine who don't really listen to audiobooks or have time to just like sit down and read a book. And
Yeah.
I thought like, well, I don't really get to talk too much with a lot of my family. So I was thinking maybe as like a big Christmas gift or something, or like a birthday present or something for a family member, kind of like separating each chapter of a book into its own little audio file and maybe read the whole chapter and then maybe at the end kind of give my thoughts, because that way my family is not only just getting to listen to the story that I really love, but they're also getting to kind of listen to me and talk to me and kind of get my thoughts on the book. And I don't know. I figured that might be a sweet thing to do for some family members. But I sat down and I tried, and oh my gosh, it is like it is the most like daunting like thing, because even if it's just like, I don't know, let's say you've already read the book, you've read the book twice, you sit down and you click record, and immediately you're just like, ooh, I don't want to sound like an idiot. I don't want to sound like just like a bumbling fool and messing up all these words and just like going in and doing all of the editing process, because like you start
no.
reading the first sentence and then you blow it. You just completely whiff it. Like you just absolutely mess up and you're like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So, at least that's my experience with it. Maybe you'll be awesome at it.
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? Like, yeah, I feel like it's not as easy as like you think it's gonna be. Like, I'm under no illusion that it would just be an easy job, like just an easy
Yeah.
paycheck. That's why I'm saying it's like a long-term goal. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I used to do acting as a kid, like in school and stuff like that. So like I know a little bit about like but taking on like all of these different characters, like as you're reading a book and having to probably like change your voice like a ton of times to like
Oh
distinguish
yeah.
who's talking, I was like, that's a skill that I like don't have. But
Yeah.
anyways, no, I'm glad that you're enjoying audiobooks, and very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel like all of the books I read at the moment are just like Christian books. Like that's super boring. But
What are you reading right now?
I'm reading a book called Fasting by a guy called Jensen Franklin, and it is
Okay.
about fasting, funnily enough.
Cool.
And yeah, so it's been really interesting. And I have a book by Frank Turek that I'm going to read after that called Too Much Faith to Be an Atheist, and I'm really excited.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm on a kick right now with my books that have been sitting on my shelf for like years, and I haven't read them. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
actually just got done listening to Screw Tape Letters from C.S. Lewis, as well as
Yo.
as well as also just talking about like the graphic audio stuff. There is another company called like Audio Theater. I'm pretty sure they did the same type of thing with all of the Chronicles of Narnia books. So if you ever wanted to like just listen to that whole story, but like as close to the books as possible while also being as close to a movie as possible, that's the way to go too. But I also just listened to a book from G.K. Chesterton.
Oh, cool.
Dang it, I'm really blanking on the name of the book right now. It's it's a philosophy book from
Yes.
the Christian worldview. So
Very cool.
that was really interesting, and I've got a whole bunch of other books on my backlog of listening.
Love it. I did when we were kids, and we always had to drive like kind of long journeys to visit my grandparents and stuff that all lived down in England. Um
Hmm.
and we had all of the Narnia books on cassette, and we used to
Nice.
listen to the tapes of them. So yeah, and for some, like, I mean, my parents never had a ton of money when they were younger and stuff like that. So like, we just had
Right.
the same Narnia books on tape over and over and over again, and we listened to those like every week.
Hmm.
So yeah, I kind of know them all back to front, even though I've like never actually sat down and read them all, which is really kind of
Sure.
funny. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm
I
very
love that.
familiar with Narnia. Yes, really good books too. Lewis is
Oh yeah.
such a writer, so great.
Yes. Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't agree more.
yeah, switching gears a little bit from books. Who's the main content creators that you're following at the moment?
So with all of the podcasts that I listen to, there's a lot of podcasts that I listen to that, and they all upload either every day or they upload um, like once a week or something like that. So right now, as far as kind of the content that I listen to that help influence, I guess the content that I make, I've already kind of mentioned them. There's like the Resonant Arc podcast, which is kind of a story analysis for video games and like book club for video games discussion podcast.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Ansem Report podcast. I've just been listening to those guys since I don't know. It's probably at least 2 years for at least 2 years now.
They're so good.
Yeah, I mean they're really consistent, and I mean I like listening to their conversations and stuff. So, and then I guess outside of just like podcasts, I'm like big into music. So there's all these bands who I follow all the time as well. Coheed and Cambria being like the biggest one right now, I think.
Very cool. I don't know who they are, but you can send me a rec and I will check it out.
Oh man, we could just do a whole other episode of me just talking about Coheed and Cambria, because that's
we could.
Yeah, we could.
I haven't done a music episode yet, but I want to.
Oh, okay. Sign me up to be the first one then, because that's gonna
Okay.
that'll be crazy. I'll just give you a short little spiel on what Coheed and Cambria is. Coheed and Cambria is a band, right? They do rock music. They started in the early 2000s, but the catch with their music is all of their music, except for like one album. They did this for only one album, but all of their music follows one story. They're a concept band.
I love concept bands.
Yes. Yeah. So Coheed and Cambria are characters in
Very cool.
like this like first original story. Not like you would really care right now, but I'm not gonna like spoil like what happens in the story. But
okay.
The first album comes out, and then their second album is the sequel, like to the events that happen in the first album. And then they have prequel albums that take place before the first album. And not only that, but they also have novels and comic books that come out with their music as well.
What?
So they have just all of this supplemental material that comes out with their music. And so it really just goes beyond just listening to their music, because I'm sure you can maybe piece the story together as you're just listening to it, but it might not make total sense. But then you open up the comic book titled, the name of one of the albums. You read that comic book and you listen to the music afterwards. Things start to kind of fall in place. They do like huge box set releases of their albums where they come with like books and lamps and masks and stuff like that, like themed after events or story characters or whatever. I don't know. They're crazy. Like I said, I could go on and on and on about just Coheed and Cambria.
Oh my gosh. So you just said my three favorite things right there. You said early 2000s, rock, and concept. Like that's like my jam right there. Like do you know House of Heroes?
Oh, I know of them. I have not listened to them.
Oh my gosh. I have these three bands that are like the trinity of Christian rock, like in my opinion, which are Switchfoot, Reliant K, and then House of Heroes is like my other favorite. And like
I know Switchfoot and Reliant K pretty well.
Yeah, like nobody's listened to House of Heroes, but like most of their records are like concept records too, and it's just so good. I'm like, like lyrically,
that's cool. I'll have to look them up.
These are amazing. I just freaking love those. So yeah, I feel like, yes, this sounds like my jam right here. I'm like, how have I never heard of these guys before? I must must listen to those. So that's really exciting. But yeah, early 2000s rock. Let's go.
And then I guess all of the other content that I normally follow, I guess I'm not really following specific content creators, but I do spend a lot of time listening and watching like really long video essays just talking about like really
Yes.
unimportant stuff, you know? Like
Yeah,
I just
know
love
the
that, you know?
ones.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I really didn't need to spend like an hour learning about this random thing, but I'm so glad I
Yeah.
did. Like,
Yeah.
pour
I'm
this
trying to think.
weird knowledge into my brain.
Yeah, I watched an entire like 4.5 hour long video over the course of like a few days, just listening to some guy talk about Metal Gear Solid 4. So I don't know,
Wonderful.
just I just love stuff like that.
Well, and I think what's so cool about that is it's kind of like this show, I guess, is like I really like video essays where I know literally nothing about the topic and that this person can make this thing sound so interesting. And I'm like, I need to go
Hmm.
listen to this or like figure out what this is about. And I love that about doing this show is because I've had guests come on and talk about like wrestling. I've never watched wrestling in my life. I've
Yeah.
had people come on and talk about like I don't know, like Marvel comics, and I've never read the comics in my life. Just all these like different things that I have no knowledge of, and yet I'm just fascinated to hear what people are interested in. It's like
Hmm.
that's the thing with like video essays, and it's like the amount of detail and time that some people will take. Like I love Jenny Nicholson, and she'll just talk about like random things. Like she did this one video. And it's like the whole history of like the brony fandom from like the
Oh,
90s.
really?
Yes, like all the way up
Interesting.
to like the conventions and everything, and how it became such a like a fringe niche thing, and then it became like mainstream, and like I don't know, it's like so good. I just
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
I love
Yeah.
Jenny Nicholson a ton. So yeah, I do love a good video essay.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I feel like there's always something. There's always something out there that's just
Yeah.
fascinating.
Do you
Yes.
do you ever feel like I mean, you don't have to like say which guest it was, but do you ever like have someone come on and they start telling you about, the thing that they're really into, and then you're just kind of like sitting there just being like, yeah, 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 even though you're really just like, man, I could not be into that. You don't have to give it away. You can even just say like, no, absolutely not. I love all of my guests.
I'm trying to think. Okay, like one. Yes, I feel like one of the episodes I did because it was to do with it was fascinating and I really liked it. So it was the essay that
Mhm.
I did about trivia and quizzing. And it's like my
Oh,
favorite,
okay.
one of my favorite episodes from season 1. But I'm so bad at like quizzing that like it's just not a thing that I could ever do because I just don't know
Mhm.
enough about things. My general knowledge is horrible, but it was really fascinating to talk to Justin and Hallie and hear all about their experience doing all that. I'm like, yo, that's so
Yeah.
cool. I'm so impressed. But I would be terrible at this. So yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I
Nice.
really enjoy it. It's a good time. What about like your the trajectory of like overleveled games? So like you said that you want to get into doing like so like when you finish doing your Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4 series, are
Yeah.
you gonna do the same thing with other games? Is that the plan?
That's the plan. Yeah.
Very cool.
And I right now, like I said, we just finished up recording the final episode, so I haven't even really gotten around to editing that just yet. But I'm considering maybe before jumping into Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, maybe doing a shorter game. I've considered, just kind of every now and then going through the Pokemon games and kind of doing the same type of thing, just kind of getting ready for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because
Cool.
I've only played like one Pokemon game or two of them maybe, um, and it might be something cool for like, for Dash to maybe take the I guess the explainer. Yeah, I guess that the host sort of seat and kind of do that with me or other series as well. Like I've wanted to try doing like the Borderlands games because I've never played those. But I also want to maybe take the helm and do like the Final Fantasy games down the line, do the Metal Gear Solid games. I love all those. Like Metal Gear Solid, I would not really I would not consider a role playing game or a Japanese role playing game.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm kind of just moving into a direction where I'm not so much focusing on that as much as I want to focus on games with really good narratives, in my opinion, or just like some. I mean, maybe Pokemon doesn't necessarily have a really good narrative, but there's something there. I just like dissecting games and really just cracking open those games, just going deeper than just the surface level, I guess, of I don't know, just playing the game proper. I like doing the development history and things like that. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. I haven't really decided too much on how we're going to structure that, but I do know that we will finish the Kingdom Hearts series and we will get Dash caught up with Kingdom Hearts so that he's ready for Kingdom Hearts 4 whenever it comes out.
So exciting.
That's the
Yeah.
plan.
Amazing. It's so fun. I feel like, I mean, I haven't even played every Kingdom Hearts game, so maybe I have played Kingdom Hearts 1, obviously, but maybe I should
Yeah.
like follow along with you guys as you're playing them. That would be pretty
Yes.
fun.
Do it. Which
Yes.
ones have you not played?
I feel like most of the side games I've never played. I haven't played Jade of Memories. I have only seen the cutscenes of 358 over 2.
Okay. Yeah, that's
and
a common thing, I think.
yes, I've not played or Recoded or I played like half of Dream Drop Distance. I
Mhm.
never finished it. Yeah, there's quite a few I haven't done. I
Well,
have
if
played
you
Birth
do
by
want
Sleep.
to if you do want to follow along, Dash will be playing through 358 Days Over 2 and Recoded. Like he won't just be watching the cutscenes. I think he might watch I might have him watch the cutscenes after we beat the game just so that I can get his opinion on the cutscenes that they put in those HD collections. But he will be playing those games first, and we'll separate him up like a book club as well. So if you find a copy or an emulator copy or something, and you do feel like playing along, like that'd be awesome.
That would be cool. Yes, I feel like I have to because yeah, I just felt like a fake fan for so long. It's like I've got this podcast and I don't even haven't even played everything and like what the hell. But
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Like there's no
Yeah.
shame. I'm not doing this for anybody else. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I did get to a point where I was like, I think we're done with this. And mostly because I think that we kind of covered a lot in terms of the like spiritual themes and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to just be saying the same thing over and over. So I was kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, I think
Yeah.
that's a wrap. But I think we had a good run, and I enjoyed it a ton.
Awesome.
But yeah, I feel like it was time to start a new thing. So
Yeah, I think especially now knowing that you gave my podcast a pretty good shout out. I'm gonna have to go back and really listen to every single one of those episodes because I did listen to a few of them, but I didn't finish. Just got busy listening to just a million other things.
that is okay. Yes,
Yeah,
I've
I'll go back and listen.
passed the baton on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So great. Yeah. Well, awesome. I don't know. This
Let's
podcast
see what
been,
else.
yeah, it's been all over the place, but I've enjoyed it. I like just sometimes showing up and talking about whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like I had said too. I mean, I can't remember if I said it while we were recording or after, but I am like just an enthusiast. Like I just love everything, so I can just go on tangents about everything, you know. And
Yeah.
if you ever are just like, hey, like, do you know anything about this? And maybe you want to come on and talk about this. Even if I know nothing about it, I will gladly just hop on Wikipedia and learn everything.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you when you were mentioning the band you were talking about. What are they called again?
Coheed and Cambria.
Yes. and you were saying, oh yeah, they have like graphic novels and stuff. I was like, oh, like My Chemical Romance did a graphic novel for like a prequel to their Killjoys album,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, that's dope. And I wondered if you're into MCR at all.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yo.
was more like back in the day. Like, I don't listen to them too much today, but you know, I don't skip their songs whenever they come on a playlist.
Yeah. Good vibe with it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I just
used
finished.
to be big time into them.
Yeah. I just finished watching The Umbrella Academy, which was written by Jared Way, based
I
on
did not
his
know that.
graphic novels. Yes.
That's
Based.
crazy.
It's so good. I don't know if you've seen that show, but it's a good time.
I think me and my wife watched the first couple of episodes.
It's super weird, and I like it.
Yeah. No, I'm into it. Yeah.
Yo.
Right now, me and my wife are watching Stranger Things right now for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we didn't finish it. We saw the first episode of the last season, and I don't do horror at all. I was like, this is too scary for me. I'm out.
That's what I've heard about the last season. I'm really excited for it because I just love horror stuff. But I know
Yeah.
my wife is also like, you know, if it gets too scary, but I'm like, come on, like we're already this far in. We know these characters. We love the story. Like, are we really gonna stop? You can power through it. Come on, you know.
Yeah, I'm a big wimp, unfortunately, so.
No worries.
Yeah. However, this has been delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Gavin. It's been so fun.
Thank you for wanting to have me on. Yeah.
Just chatting about whatever. It's been a good time, and yeah, we'll have to figure this out again. But
yeah,
no, it's been nice
maybe
to
we'll
meet
have
you.
Yeah, maybe one day we can have a more focused, like just we'll talk about mostly one thing the whole time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We should have figured that out. However, sometimes I'm not organized, especially when football is going on.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay. Sometimes I just need to force myself to do a thing, regardless of how
Yeah.
it turns out.
I think it's good too that, you know, we just at least got to, because also for everyone listening to, other than like little text messages back and forth, this is the first time that you and I have actually talked to each other with our human
That's
voices.
True.
So really, I mean, this whole conversation was literally just us getting to know each other a little bit.
That's right. Get to know each other. The majority of episodes I do are with people I've never spoken to before.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah. The first episode with Josh, we were already friends. Well,
yeah,
actually,
I remember hearing that.
yes, but yeah. But everybody else has been like acquaintances. But I think it's fun. I like to get to know new people. So, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's been real.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So that was Gavin. This was a really fun chat, and I enjoyed getting to know him and hearing about his content. My name is Karis. You can follow Journey into Fandom on Twitter at j_into_fandom, and I am at Carison Ford on Twitter. Please also join the official Discord for all my podcasts, Retrospective and Journey into Fandom. Thank you for listening. Bye.